Today we are joined by Canadian-born director and creative powerhouse Justin Wu, a multi-hyphenate artist who has been making serious waves across film, television, and fashion. His feature directorial debut, Sidelined, The QB and Me, didn't just connect with audiences, it shot to #1 on Tubi, becoming one of the platform's top streamed originals worldwide.
Yeah, before stepping into the director's chair, Justin built an international photography career, traveling the world, shooting with some of the most esteemed names in fashion, including Vogue, Elle, GQ, Dior, Gucci. I'm just gonna put Beckham in there.
All of them, everything. He's also brought his sharp, stylish storytelling to TV, directing episodes of fan favorites like Reginald Vampire and Children Ruin Everything. And now he's back with the highly anticipated Sideline 2, Intercepted, taking the franchise to new emotional and cinematic heights. Please welcome the one and only Justin Wu.
Thank you.
Welcome.
You know, when you read all those accolades, we didn't even put all of them in this. And you think
I was
about,
like, this is too long.
It's too long.
We're gonna be
I know.
20
I
minutes
actually
doing
wrote
this.
it, and he goes, "Can we take this paragraph off?" Because it would be a whole story that we were telling.
Yeah.
Because there's so much. And do you ever think about what has happened to this point?
Actually, kind of frequently. I think I've always been questioned, especially with my mother, and wondering how did it all happen.
Yeah.
I try to keep my parents in the loop. They're always very fearful of this entire industry. My late father, unfortunately, never actually got to see me direct anything. But I think that throughout this entire journey, I've always tried to be transparent and keep them in the loop and show them what are all the different steps I'm taking to kind of get to my ultimate dream. So yeah, I mean, it's funny because I actually have, I'm a very sentimental person.
Yeah.
I actually have kind of a scrapbook that shows a timeline of events.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, this year I've done this.
Yeah.
This year I've done that. Not to say that I'm trying to reach any particular milestone, but I can look back and see how the path was forged. And I'm just full of gratitude that it actually,
Does it?
you
I know.
We're gonna say that,
know.
like you said, ultimate dream. What is the ultimate dream?
This was the ultimate dream. Honestly, I think making a movie as a film director is what we aspire to do. When I was growing up, I'd say I already had the aspirations when I was around 10. And I watched Jurassic Park and I thought, wow, perhaps a bit underage. But anyway, I watched Jurassic Park around 10 and I just told myself, I want to be the person who made that. I don't know what it takes, but I want to make that. So that was the ultimate dream. And where I am today, I'm living it. And
Your ultimate dream, man! That's amazing.
Does it feel like a long road? Like when you look at all those, you're keeping, pieces of your film. You've got that scrapbook. Does it feel like a long road from when you, as an adult, maybe started pursuing it to where you are now?
I'd say so. I'd say so because I remember the hurdles that were involved and how many no's I had to get through. From the very beginning, even in high school, let's say I remember telling my high school counselors, I want to do this. And of course, shielding this from my parents because they would have no idea what's involved. And even then, a lot of the high school counselors had no idea how to even pursue it. They'd say, oh, go to film studies or in a university. But even there, someone I call the university, they themselves have no idea because a lot of their programs are just geared towards what they know, and what they know is perhaps becoming a writer or a film critic, but there's no real path towards breaking into the industry. So I feel that to answer your question, it really feels like a very long journey because I've had to navigate it myself. I've had to figure out what would be the next step and what would be something I'd settle with. And honestly, there are many times I was ready to just settle. So from the very beginning, I got into photography because my dad gifted me his camera and I thought this is the closest I could get to film and TV and I'd be okay with it. Little did we realize that during the first financial crisis in 2008-ish, that the whole digital video explosion came about. And so it became more accessible. And so doors opened as the years went on.
Right.
And it feels like a long journey. I know I'm very young in this business, and so I can't say that it's been that long, but it certainly feels like, because I remember being 10, wanting this for so long, and taking decades for me to get here.
Yeah. You talked about not having a a real blueprint as far as like academics go to getting what you want here. And people in the arts often feel that when you talk to a lot of people that have reached a particular level, they say I learned it on the job, or I had a mentor, or I just kind of like I was grinding away until I figured it out.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on actual like a film school?
I think film schools to me are essential as an option. I think I never went through film school, so clearly there's a case where you don't need it. However, I think that what film schools should be able to offer is the guidance, is the mentorship. I was fortunate that throughout my entire career, there have been a few key individuals who've guided me and have suggested where I should go next. And had it not been those individuals, maybe I would have taken a few more years, or I could have given up, honestly. So I think that film schools are necessary in that they should not only give you the studies of what makes a good movie, but tell you what are the things you need to do. And I think it's unfortunate that schooling is of course very expensive, and I'm always a big advocate that we make education as accessible as possible.
Yeah.
I want to go back to that first time you got that big job. You're doing photography, your dad gave you the camera, and there was that moment that happens to you. What was it, and who was it?
So many moments. I'd say probably the one that's near and dear to me, it may not be significant to most people because they wouldn't understand, is when I got booked my first magazine gig. When I actually was commissioned when I was living in Paris with no money, and I was in university, and I was commissioned to do a magazine shoot that was going to be in print 2 months after. That gave me validation because then there was something tangible. And I think a huge part of this business is it's all talk. It's all smoke and mirrors. And, people can make a lot of false promises and say, oh, you do this, it will lead to that. And I'm like, well, not being able to see my work actually in print at the time was really important. And so when I actually got a copy of it, I think that was the moment when I thought, this could be possible. Because even at that point, I wasn't making photography a career. It was what I wanted to pursue. So I didn't even make it into photography yet. But that was the first inclination, the first validation that it was possible. Subsequently, of course, there was like the getting to video work. Got a call from Jay-Z's office to do a second version of...
Like Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
The Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, yes.
Which other Jay-Z were you thinking of?
There's so many Jay-Z's out there. Wow,
and to do a second version of Empire State of Mind video to launch Fashion Week. And that was,
So wait, how did that even happen? So who, how, when Jay-Z knows you,
just there,
you're in
and
Paris,
the phone rings,
and
hey.
what? Were you on your BlackBerry? What happened?
It was a BlackBerry.
Well, there you go.
It was a BlackBerry.
Yeah.
So for context, I was in Paris. I was in university still on exchange, business school, and digital video was becoming a thing. YouTube was becoming more prevalent, and I didn't know it at the time, but the best photo camera at that time already had a built-in video feature. Of course, we take it for granted that all our cell phones have video and photos, but video feature was being built in. Due to the financial crisis, a lot of work was already being dried up, so there were less shoots happening, so I was experimenting. And what I had done was something very subversive. In the fashion world, which is very serious, especially Paris Fashion Week, I am sort of a disruptor. I'm always asking, why not? Why not this? Why not that? And the fashion world at the time welcomed me with open arms. There were some challenges, of course, but I thought, what a beautiful industry, a great creative. This is actually quite positive. So what I did was I would film friends of mine, business individuals, designers, models, singing and dancing on the street. Lip singing. So I posted that on YouTube for fun, and it went viral. So viral, in fact, that I was asked to do it for designers during Fashion Week, even though it's normally very serious. It looks completely silly. And because that went viral, I was among the very first to have been scouted off of YouTube by Jay-Z's office, who gave me a call out of the blue to say, could you come to New York and create a second version of Empire State of Mind to launch New York Fashion Week?
So did you meet him, and did you have a discussion with him?
I didn't meet him for that long. It was very brief. But I went to his office in New York. It was among my first times there. And I was just given a carte blanche, really, to work at the time with supermodels, the top models, to lip sync Empire State of Mind in the various boroughs that were mentioned in the song. And of course, it was completely surreal because it was just me running, gunning. It was just me with a camera, no team. I was directing. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was editing off of iMovie, off of my little MacBook, not even MacBook Pro. That really propelled me, and that went so viral, of course, as you can imagine, working with Jay-Z, that it got into TV. So ABC News, it was on, it was on all the national news channels, and then I got signed to a video production company, and I was propelled into the director's chair doing a TV commercial a few weeks after.
So momentum.
You discovered TikTok, it sounds like.
You know, when I think about you, I think about someone who's just like ready for whatever is put in front of you. When you were in that scenario, I'm wondering if you went, oh God, it's happening. It's happening right now. Like, what were you going through in your mind? Was there sort of like a psychological challenge for you, or were you ready?
I'd say no. I was absolutely not ready because I didn't know where it was going to lead. I think even being in that moment, I thought it was perhaps frivolous. I can understand from a business point of view. It's like, oh, Justin has this kind of flash in the pan idea. Let's capitalize on it. I didn't know how far it would go. And the fact that it went that far, and then an agency went and approached me and said, could we sign you? I think that was when I saw potential, not actually when I was doing it. Because when I was doing it, I of course will try to milk every possibility and every potential. It's like, I'm going to learn from this experience. If this is it, I'd be happy. Like, wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was a dream.
It's the whole theory of fake it till you make it too, right? Like all of us are like thrown into a position and we're like, okay, well, I got to figure this out. And the way you talk about things, I find that when you're very creative. I feel like you take something and you make it to the next level. It's a piece of A, but you put A plus A and you create something new. And I feel like that's something that happens in your brain all the time.
Yeah, I think that because I studied film and TV and studied media. I love social media. I love scouring YouTube. Actually, I like to believe that I went to YouTube University. I didn't study photography or filmmaking at all formally. It was all through books, all through forums. People know what that is. Those are. And
I'm aging myself.
Forums and YouTube. So consuming so much media, which I find endlessly entertaining, and being a naturally curious person, I'm always trying to see how I can push the envelope. And another big part of my career is the fact that the privilege that comes from this job is meeting so many other creative individuals. So people may not know, but as a photographer, of course, you have your subject. But around the subject, you may have designers, you may have set decorators, art directors, and all these individuals have their own personal background, their own philosophy, and I love to hear and learn from them. So the fact that I can take this idea and that idea, I love synthesizing things that may not be completely original, but to me, it's something I hadn't seen before, and I always love to experiment. And I had to say that had it not been a lot of the experimentation I'd done that broke the industry rules, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I think, yes, to your point,
I can see that.
I've always been of the mindset of pushing boundaries.
Jay-Z saw it.
Jay-Z.
We're going to pick your photo. We can keep talking, but we got to get into this. Do you want to start with the first photo? Okay.
So I know you've got...
I'm very excited, by the way. I do not know what...
Don't be nervous. There's nothing.
So we always start with the first photo that we could find from her social.
That you've ever posted.
And this is the first one that I could find. This is Made It to the Hollywood sign.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that vividly. That was one of my first trips to Hollywood, and it was actually quite an eye-opening experience, for good and for bad. At that time, I had made a short film. It did travel to some film festivals, so I knew I wanted to be a director. I sat in the chair, and it is where I found my calling. However, the mountain to climb to jump from a short film into anything in Hollywood is huge. It's like you're going from a scrappy budget where you do everything for $10,000 or whatever, to any production that's worth multi-millions. So that gulf is so big, but I wanted to commit. So 1 year, I said, I'm going to drop all my bags. I'm going to pack up and move to LA and just try it. Worst case, I can return home and continue photography, for instance, or doing TV commercials. And I remember climbing that hill with a friend of mine and just feeling the buzz and the energy and how it's exactly what I imagined it would be. So it gave me a lot of optimism, but conversely, I also remember that year being one of the worst years because that was the critical year of no's. They said no, and there was no way to break in. A lot of those, at that time, Hollywood is still very insular, very closed. You need a lot of experience, and there was no way for me to get practical set experience at that scale. And so, yeah, I felt very defeated. And for actually 2 years I lived there, I couldn't break in. And I remember distinctly that I would do that hike and always never giving up, saying like, maybe not this year, maybe next year. Maybe not this year, maybe next year. Well, the patience paid off.
Well, I think that what's interesting about being there, and we've both spent a ton of time there, and I think for people that haven't spent a ton of time there or maybe only visited once, don't get what you're talking about the buzz and the energy, because there's something always happening. And there's something really important about being where the things are happening that you want to happen. And I'm sure, those 2 years of no's in another setting or another scenario would have been very easy to turn around and go, yeah, I guess. But because you see possibility happening left, right, and center, was that part of your drive, motivation?
1,000%. And the hustle is real. I mean,
hustle is real. Like that should be in a shirt, like in Hollywood. Yeah.
You have everyone. I mean, one fun fact is that during that entire time, I never actually met anyone born and raised in LA.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. It's a complete unicorn if you actually do meet someone, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. So what does that tell you? That tells you that everyone flies in from all around the world to try and make it in Hollywood. Yeah. And because Hollywood's known for that one big thing, it's all but entertainment, music, film, and TV, that everywhere you go, you meet people that are all trying to make it or have already made it. And that's the one conversation that happens all the time. You go to a coffee shop, what do you see? Aspiring screenwriters or successful screenwriters, and they're all there. And so I suppose being immersed in that kind of environment of people that are breaking in and haven't given up, to me was very inspiring. And I think that once you're in that kind of environment, much like when I was in Paris for fashion, you're just so inspired by these individuals, and it gives you hope because even for, let's say, 9 times out of 10, these people are saying like, hey, I've been trying to do this for years and years and years, it still hasn't worked out for me. There is that one person that said, hey, but it did work out for me. I came here with nothing, I grinded, may have taken 10 years, but didn't made it. And so through all the time, there were individuals, strangers or new friends, that would give you that glimmer of hope. And that's what I was clinging on to. So
what Hollywood?
Yeah.
Do you love it?
I have to admit that I don't like, so let's separate the two.
Yeah. Because
there's Hollywood, the industry, and then there's Hollywood, the city, I guess. I mean, sort of the city. It's part of LA, part of greater LA. The city is not for me. I still love Toronto. If there's one place to really live, and I'm very privileged to say I've lived around the world. I love Toronto. I want to be here all the time. I made the commitment to move back here. In terms of the
city, we're in his place right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
we're his first guest.
By the way,
this is my
beautiful abode.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that tells me, me, my family, and my friends a lot that this is a place where I'm committed to. So I was not the biggest fan of LA. It's just too large. As for Hollywood, the industry, I have to say that there are challenges, no doubt. I think that it's still a very typical old boys club, and it's changing rapidly. I'm really glad that's the case. If not, I wouldn't have been able to enter in. And again, back to the story of how all these aspiring people, artists in LA, they're all there for the same reason, and it does work. But I'd say that the industry is unfortunately very centralized. For good or for bad, obviously it's in one place that's very, very expensive, and it's really hard for a lot of people to kind of break in if you're not there, boots on the ground. Actually meeting executives, actually going to these monolithic kind of studios are so intimidating when you walk up to the doors of any of the studios with all the gates and security and all that kind of stuff. It's really daunting. And I think that I have pushed through a lot of boundaries. I, balls to the wall. I take big swings and big risks. I do also know, and I've met a lot of younger artists that I'm trying to mentor that I know may not have that kind of mentality. And so the challenge of Hollywood is that it doesn't appear to be very accessible. And that to me is something I'm trying to change. It's a tough answer because I love it. It's the
you love the movie
I love
aspect,
the
creating,
movie aspect,
and
creation.
but the
fact that
industry itself.
the opportunities to do this kind of stuff and actually change society and perception. It's great through entertainment, but the industry is tough.
It's a tough one.
It's not. It's really. I'd say it's really not for everyone. I think that people need to be aware of what's involved, but. And I don't want to discourage anyone. It's a tough industry.
One of the best things a friend of
to
mine
have nuts is what that's what
you gotta go balls to the wall. But
Yeah.
a friend of mine who does really well down there, a mutual friend of ours actually, said to me once, he's like, Carlos, it's not that anyone here is any smarter than you or smarter than me. He goes, look at me. He goes, you just got to figure it out. Like you just got to look for the openings and you got to be willing to work harder than that other person. Because I guarantee you that basically in any group of 5 people, there's only going to be one person that's going to look for the opportunity and work as hard as you need to get there. But they're not smarter than you. And some of them are more connected, but you can get beyond that.
Yes.
Right?
Ambition.
And I don't believe in luck. I really do believe in manufactured opportunities, meaning that you have to create your own luck. If you want to be discovered, show don't tell is the name of the business. So show your value, show your work, and you hope that where luck comes in is that people will find your work because they see the potential behind it. So I think that that's the true nature of this business is that you have to always manufacture opportunities for people to discover you.
Yeah. All right, let's pick a photo.
So
right.
no order whatsoever, whichever one you feel, whatever is drawing you.
Second one.
Ooh.
In front of me.
Let's see. Hey!
Wow. I'm glad that's the first one.
I love that.
I'm getting emotional already. This is a very key moment in my life because for multiple reasons. This is my directorial debut in film and TV. And I couldn't have asked for a better show. It was the show I wanted to do basically in my adult film career when I decided I want to be a director in film and TV. I want to make it in Hollywood. And knowing all the challenges, if there was to be one show to begin my career in, it'd be this one. It'd be Kim's Convenience. Yeah, it was made during very challenging times, during the pandemic, and everyone was just so loving and so welcoming. They opened their arms to me, and it launched my career. I was nominated by the Directors Guild for my episode, and to this day, Kim's Convenience will always be near and dear to my heart.
What a North Star for so many people. When that
When
show
you look
was
at
on.
it.
Look at who you're in the
I
photo
know.
with, for goodness sakes, right?
Yeah, of course, Simu, Nicole, everyone succeeded.
Yes.
Everyone succeeded. And actually, funny enough, I actually met Andrea recently, gave her flowers for her movie, and we actually met at the Golden Globes party during TIFF,
that,
and we just really had a heart-to-heart. Because
Yeah.
I hadn't seen her. I really hadn't seen her since then. She's moved to BC, and what a...
I love my kids watch this show to this day. They love it. And it's because partly they're also learning about diversity. And my kids are not understanding that. And I think that's a proud moment for me that they don't question it. But for them to watch this show, they have so much more knowledge.
Yes.
And so for you, why was this so special for you that this was the one that you started with your directorial debut?
It was a show that I knew my parents could understand because it was
So
a
you
show
wanted
that
your parents to be proud.
I want my parents to understand. I think being proud is one thing, but they knew this journey would be long. I'm an only child, and so there is no fallback plan. And it really is sad that my dad never got to see me direct film and TV. He waited his entire life, supported in any way he could, but he never saw it happen. And I think that will always stay with me. But it just reminds me of how important it is for us to build bridges. And so this particular show was a show that, of course, united so many Canadians together, so many immigrant families together to be like, hey, there can be a show about us that people can understand. The struggles that we face opening up a convenience store, living above a convenience store is one that I'm very familiar with. I actually have several friends who are Korean who grew up above a convenience store and they still have a convenience store that they're operating. And it was such a relatable story that I know how powerful it was. So when the show ended, there was a flurry of strangers that would reach out to me and say, like, all of you did such a great job in making us feel seen and done in such an entertaining, relatable, and heartfelt way that encourages me that we don't have to feel shame for our path. And it really motivated me. And to this day, to continue to push for stories like that, because I at least I can speak for myself and my family that show made a huge impact.
Huge. It's huge.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah.
What was something that you learned the first day you stepped on set that has been like a key part of your toolbox to this day? It's
the same philosophy I've always had, which is just to be confident and be fearless. When there are so many times people would just laugh you out the door or escort you out and be like, no, you're just not ready for this. And I think that one day I was quivering. And I just had to say, I had to remind myself, I've earned this. They hired me because they believed in me. There was no nepotism. I didn't know anyone from the casting crew there. I earned it. I did my interviews. I did my training. I did all the kind of stuff. I had multiple rounds of interviews, so I've earned it. And so the big takeaway from that first day was just to remind myself, I've made it. Now is my time to earn it. Meaning that now that I'm on set, take it really seriously. Don't, because this opportunity may never come back again. And that philosophy still holds true today. When I made my first movie, you never know. Everyone knows, like, if your first movie flops, that could be it. And I just every day in this business, I just put 150% into everything I do, and that first day just reminded me, don't just because you've made it doesn't mean that it can be all taken away.
Don't take it for granted.
So soak up the experience, work really hard. And there were a couple of days I remember so vividly where after everyone wrapped, I really had to pinch myself. Everyone left the studio. Security guards were waiting. And I just said, can you just give me 5 minutes so I can just sit here on the set that I grew up watching and just be alone with the set.
And soak it in.
Yeah. And sit on the couch in their apartment and be humble and be grateful. And that's what I think keeps me going. So that was the one biggest takeaway I got from that first day.
There is that attitude, and you talked about it a little bit there, but everyone who I've talked to, and I think we actually just talked about this like a couple of days ago, who has reached this massive level of what we would perceive as success. They have this instinct in them that it could go away tomorrow. And therefore, if I don't keep going, or at least appreciate what I've got here, I could lose it all. And they're like multimillionaires, close to billionaires, but they're going, what's the next thing? Or how can I keep this going? Because how they got there was that attitude, right?
It's true. I mean, I feel like a lot of celebrities are 360 now. They're doing makeup brands, they're doing this, they're making their own car, and it's become this world that is not just about acting anymore. Your own business now, and that's the way things are going too. And even looking at Simu Liu, who's done so great in Hollywood. Even just recently, there was an article of him talking about diversity and the lack of roles, and we're still talking about that in 2025. So I think it's partly everyone is just, what's next? And almost like you have to sit back and reflect a little bit, which I'm so glad that you have a scrapbook and you do that. Yeah, you can.
Just cannot take it for granted. And that's why I'm such a sentimental person. I mean, I have boxes of stuff.
Yeah.
I may have taken some props from convenience too.
What did you take?
It's like, no one's coming after you.
Take this
You took the cash register.
I took a prop can of tuna. There's nothing inside.
I was gonna say, is there tuna in it?
No, it doesn't matter. It's because it's like it's a reminder of the path, and I think I would still maintain that exact same philosophy, Carlos. Is that it's less about the money. It's really about the journey.
Yeah.
And I had nothing growing up, in the sense that no one could support me in any meaningful way besides saying, keep going. But even my parents, very typical Asian immigrant parents, who just feared what they don't know, would just have discouraged me the entire time. Only until they saw my name on screen did they actually felt like, oh, okay, this is a real thing now, right? And so I find that we're always chasing it because it could disappear. And perhaps it's a bit of ego. It's just the idea that you spent so much of your life trying to get there, that if it's all taken away, I want to make sure it was all worthwhile. And so I look back frequently on that scrapbook. I look back on my little props to be able to remind myself, yeah, it was worth it. And if it is all taken away, that's okay. But I'm not going to stop pushing, because I do have that fear that the dream can be taken away.
All right, let's do another one.
All right, here we go.
Don't give up, Carlos. We just can't give up.
No one's giving up.
We just never give up.
This is a photo of course, me and my late father, and me and my mom, who is still around. And wow, what a beautiful photo.
I know.
So
you're just talking
this
about
is outside of my childhood house, and this is actually kind of wild, because it's very apropos that suit jacket is a suit jacket that my dad wore all the time when we went to church. And it's actually, I just unpacked it upstairs.
No way.
So this is my new condo. And it's something that I've saved. At the premiere of Sidelined 2, I wore his tie in honor of him, so he'd be present. They were just the loveliest parents I could have ever hoped for. And this is me when I was at Niagara Falls with, I believe, my dad's binoculars. And
1994. Look at that.
94. Yeah, that's right. And these are just such great childhood memories. My parents were had a lot of difficulties growing up, but was always full of joy. My dad had a serious car accident when I was around 6. He broke his legs and arms and nearly lost him. And for about a year, I didn't see him. My parents had to make an excuse that, he went traveling, because they were so afraid that the visual of seeing him hung up in a hospital was just so jarring that I didn't see him for a while. But they were just the loveliest parents, and I was very proud to say that my mom was able to come attend my premieres. And so this is a great memories.
Talking about how when you were growing up, the support that you got was like basically people saying to you like, okay, good, go for it, but not knowing how to guide you in that way. What was, when you were young, I would say, from your perspective as a young person, what did you think was the expectation of your parents for you?
That's for me to live a happy life. I think the typical Asian immigrant story is that they left because of their own situation, their own. But my parents were from Hong Kong. They actually left China to go to Hong Kong at a young age. Very, very harrowing journey with nothing, and they constantly reminded me of how challenging those times were. There was no opportunity for school, no opportunity for advancement. Very few jobs were available then, and so they had to all make it on their own. And so several aunts and uncles went to different parts of the world to try and make it and try to find education at university. My mother, unfortunately, never completed high school. And she had to come to Canada to find possibilities. So I think the biggest takeaway from my parents is that they also instilled in me this idea of being relentless, being fearless, because they came here with literally nothing.
The $5 story, right? Everyone has the $5 story in their pocket.
A couple suitcases. And my mom is the eldest sister in her family. My dad was the eldest son of his family, and they were the pioneers. They came to Canada first. They were the first to leave home. And at that time, long distance calls were so expensive that my dad reminded me, and my mother also reminded me too, that they never even spoke with their family for years.
Right.
So they were sent off on their own accord to try and make a better life for themselves because they just couldn't do it at home.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of what my dad always wanted for me was just to make sure that I lived a fulfilled life and I'm able to do what I want. And of course, he would have wanted for me to pursue the sciences like he did. And eventually he was, I'm proud to say, one of the first Chinese and first Asian students to graduate from U of T Med School.
There you go.
And that was, and his photo is still hanging in the halls. And really, he was a pioneer at the time. He worked at A&W scrubbing those glass mugs to pay for tuition, and a lot of those stories still resonate with me. But don't and also to never take things for granted. And I think that those are the two lessons that if you're not doing it for yourself and not being happy doing it, it's not worth pursuing. And also, if you're gonna pursue something, really pursue it with all the heart and dedication. And that may mean sacrifice. And that's where my parents really taught me the lessons of how to manage sacrifice and taking risks.
But what a gift to be able to say that living a fulfilling life is a tribute to your family. Very cool. Yeah,
we're very lucky that way. Same story, like first immigrants to Canada and what they did for us and the life we have, and to pursue our dreams and feel joy. And I can't believe you just said that you just took your dad's suit out.
I just unpacked it. That specific jacket. Wow, so that's crazy. It didn't click to me that was the jacket that I had posted that photo of him. Wow. And a lot of great memories were from that.
Yeah. We're blessed.
Yeah. All right. Right in front of me. Let's see. What a great Canadian story.
Yes.
Great Canadian story.
I keep feeling that everything's a milestone, but this was when, very similar to the very first photo, by the way, I was here during the Cannes Film Festival.
It was Cannes. Okay, I was like,
This is the Cannes Film Festival at the Croisette, which is the main strip where the festival occurs. At that time, I was not a director, but I wanted to immerse myself in the world of film. And there's no better place while living in France than to be at the Cannes Film Festival. I am proud to say that I was becoming a quite successful photographer, and I was commissioned by Dior to shoot portraits of their talents, their ambassadors and everything at the Dior suite that overlooked the film festival grounds. And you could see the theater and you could actually see the red carpet from this balcony. And this photo was actually of particular significance because Winnie Harlow is just the loveliest person. She's also a proud Torontonian. But not only that, it also just so happens to be my birthday. Always coincides exactly with the Cannes Film Festival.
You were born to do it. Literally.
And that same evening, Winnie surprised me with a piece of cake.
Aww.
And in the hallway as she was getting ready for the red carpet.
She is just like a
we
light.
love her.
She is a light. I met her at a Victoria's Secret fashion show, which is
They sent him. They didn't send me. They sent Carlos.
They sent me to Shanghai. I was like, whoa, you gotta ask. You gotta ask. Right?
I think I would have hit on the girls too much. Maybe that's why.
You would for sure. I'm very respectful. And so we're out on the floor as we're getting ready, and we go to set up. We set up light, and we go to ask if we can chat with her. And she looked up at me and just went, oh, and she just illuminated. It was like, Canada, Canadian, Carlos. And we had such a great moment, but it was one of those things where, I tend to, when I move through scenarios like that, this is one of the things that I love talking to you, and I love talking to you because you guys have this thing where you move through a space and you're like, I belong in this space. Once you emanate it, I tend to have a little bit more of an insight. So I'm trying to emanate that I belong in this space. And being there, the way that she opened up immediately made me feel like, okay, I'm here. I'm supposed to be
deserve to be here.
So great.
Great. And her story is also so incredible too. And I remember because for the longest time, and being in the fashion world, you hear of all these like superstar models that are really rising. And of course, I was enamored by her story, inspired by her story. And the fact that I actually got a chance to meet her, and she was so gracious in that environment when it was a working relationship that became like a a friendship. And that was such a beautiful moment that
and it's a beautiful shot.
Thank you.
Gorgeous shot.
I wanted to do it justice.
I mean,
with
all
the print, but I
the,
was
like,
oh.
Yeah.
Justin, you need to take photos of me next, okay?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do a whole shoot.
This is a photo studio.
Oh, no way! There you
do a series
go.
where you're the subject, but like I'm on the side, like just getting stuff. I'll be in the background, but like just picking things up, and, like holding cables.
Both of them need.
Oh my God.
Right? Do we not agree?
Find my soul. Find it inside.
You know, I know you love Toronto. You always wrote for Toronto. Every time I see you speaking about it. But would you ever go back to France and live there long term?
I think if I was so wealthy and privileged, I would love to have a second home there. But no, I've made my mark there. I've taken all those lessons. The reason, so to go way back to what my thoughts are on Hollywood, I feel that Canada and Toronto gave so much to me. A lot of the opportunities, the scholarships, the after-school programs, and all this kind of stuff gave me the opportunity for me to thrive. And I do remember, again, how hard it was for me to find any level of mentorship for me to break in. And even to this day, I do know a lot of students at TMU or OCAD or York, U of T that constantly reach out and say, hey, Justin, we're in the film program. Not to say it's bad, but we still have no idea how to do it. Yeah. And so I think, you know, during my time when I was in New York, lived in Paris, lived in LA, those were formative years. And I would never have any regrets that I did it. In fact, those were the best years of my life. That said, you know, what I realized is that I could always go there. It's the more glamorous city. It's the prettier city. It's more the vibrant city. But it's the city that I think already have enough talents out there that support it. That I would love to kind of go there from time to time. I still go. I go to Paris every year, once a year, because a lot of my close friends are still there. And but to live there is a whole different thing. I think I now have a responsibility. I feel I have this kind of new paternal or brotherly instincts that it's my turn to give back. And now that I've made it, I want to create, much like how Simu has always been about, you know, uplifting the community. I want to do the same thing. And so, of course, could I go back and live in Paris? Absolutely, I could. But I really do feel that Toronto is home. And
I was going to say, Justin, I think you just said that this is home. You just defined what your home is. And that's exactly what it is.
And we can build here. And that's where I also feel that I can make my mark here.
Okay, let's do two more. We're almost there.
Oh, what a recent memory. This is truly a beautiful moment. Because, wow, it's so much to unpack in one photo. Well, this, of course, was the premiere of Sidelined 2, and none of us really thought that was possible. The lead actors didn't think it was possible. I certainly never thought that it would ever happen. But the first movie came and went. It was a huge, smash success, as you mentioned. And we got a chance to do it. And one thing that comes with the territory of this business is that I often don't believe anything happens until it happens. You spend all this time making a movie, you do all this work, and easily the studio, or for whatever reason, can pull take it off the shelves, and it doesn't
Catwoman,
happen. Catwoman is also one of those too, and it's a shame because I feel for all the artists that their work. Hundreds of people were involved in making this movie. So the fact that we were able to see, it was the first time I saw it on the big screen, and it was also a point when we all reunited because we hadn't seen each other since we wrapped. And not only that, but you'll see Noah and Sienna are here, surrounded by her family. It's her family here, and it's Noah's family, and we just had the best time because it was Noah's first big role, and the fact that we were able to do it a second time, and he's evolved as an artist. I love our cast. It was just such a heartwarming moment, and so this is a real, true family moment that I'll never forget.
I love the so you know when you do like a photo booth, and you've got the 4 photos to take, you got to find out what poses you're gonna do. Can we zoom in on? We're gonna get a digital zoom on this. I don't know how many people spotted that immediately, but he did it. He took the chance to do a little shirtless. little shirtless right there, just like, hey.
Yeah.
It's like
A little
hormone,
peek, a little
peek.
Very
and then-
smart.
And then back to it.
Oh, then she's sticking her tongue out and like, there's a whole thing happening there. I love that. And you brought some stuff from set.
Yeah.
I did.
This is you being sentimental, right?
I'm a very sentimental person, and this is actually a tradition that I began after I directed Run the Burbs.
Can I touch it?
If you go ahead.
Yeah.
I just want to look at it.
So this is a tradition I've actually begun, and it's something very meaningful to me. There's something called a chairback, and chairback is what it goes basically to label your chair, and so it says the production name and your role and your name. So Director Justin Wu.
Yeah.
And also another key component in filmmaking is what they call the slate. The slate is that clapper, and that's used to label what scene you're in, what take you're on, and what camera you're using. So A camera, B camera, C camera. In any case, in honor of the cast that I work with, as they're all wrapping out, on the very last day, on the last scene, as we finish, I always get them to sign the chairback with a note that I never read until we're wrap production.
Oh,
And so that's...
So do you have the note for this?
Yes. And
It's like, and it's funny because it's
look at it.
given the settings of the movies, it's like a yearbook.
This is
like your yearbook signatures. I was going to ask you pop quiz what scene this was, but of course you know it's the last one.
Well, so it's not the last scene.
It's not.
No.
Scene 68.
We're shooting out of order.
Okay.
It was the last scene. It was the last scene we shot.
So what was scene 68 that you shot? It was last scene that you shot.
A football sequence.
Okay.
The big football game.
Okay. Yeah.
In the film. And so the chairback is where I have all the cast sign, and in honor of the hundreds of people that work behind the scenes, all the signatures on the chairback are all the crew.
Is it rare for a director to have this much, not just enthusiasm for the project, but enthusiasm for the people in the project? Have you having been on sets before, lots of different sets, do you get that feedback from people being like, Justin, no one's ever asked me to sign a thing before. Like all I'm doing here is I'm running coffees, let's say, no disrespect to any job on set because they're all essential. But that's what you're doing there. You're elevating everybody. Have you experienced that where they've been like, this is a new experience to me?
Absolutely. And to me, it's a surprise to me, but I've seen all these individuals. I mean, going back to LA again, going to the coffee shop and seeing all the aspiring screenwriters, actors, you name it, cinematographers, all there, all hungry and wanting the same thing. That I know how difficult the journey is, and I know that, speaking of PAs who are very essential to, production assistants who are very essential to the filmmaking process, that is a stepping stone. No one ever dreams to be a PA. And, I really do feel that, especially when you're being a leader, especially when you're directing, I cannot do any of their jobs proficiently to be able to make a movie. I rely on these individuals, incredible artists, craftsmen who I dedicate, my entire work to. And so, like all these individuals, I know them deeply, everyone by name. And to me, it's really important that they're all being recognized for their hard work and that they all get their flowers too. And so,
teamwork.
Yeah. And it's like it's a very simple act. For me to look back on these, chairbacks the slates that I can I can look at the signature and almost remember exactly the moment where we were behind the craft truck as we were wrapping out, and they signed it and whatnot. And it brings me a lot of joy that
I was on a set, and I'm not going to say which director, but this director fired somebody right in front of me. And there was no kindness in that room, let's just say, right? And so for you to do that, that's special. And you make people feel special. And that's what Noah wrote here. He said, 2 for 2 for us. So blessed to collaborate with someone as kind, passionate, and creative as you. So, I mean, that really wraps up what you're trying to say, that you've created that environment, right?
Yeah.
And that makes it really special. I won't say which director, I'll tell you guys after. Sorry. I was so scared.
Not turn off the cameras, and then it's
We
gonna.
need the tea.
Oh, like, what do I do?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got tea here.
We got a little bit of tea.
When you were like doing group projects as a kid in school, were you the one that was rallying everybody together? Was that your job?
No, I am a crazy introvert. I know it's so hard to imagine that I stammered as a kid. I still deal with issues of stammering. I was very shy. I was very socially awkward. But no, I think a lot of it was watching how other leaders lead.
Yeah.
I learned so much from, actually, a lot of my best friends are actually from university who just taught me the value of leadership. And I was very fortunate that I went to a fantastic business school at Ivy, University of Western Ontario. Shout out to them. That they, it was the methodology of like trying to create new groups and different dynamics. And I just learned so much from that process. And yeah, a lot of those skills, a lot of those techniques from natural born leaders
and your parents.
filtered to me, and my parents too.
Yeah.
My dad was the leader of his community.
Yeah.
He's a choir conductor. He also started a non-for-profit for new immigrants and refugees, and just watching him work kind of gave me a lot of those skills that I had to eventually learn to.
Wow, your dad was very special. He really
Very,
did
very,
give
very
back.
special,
He
yeah.
really did. I love that. Our last one.
All right.
Oh, I know what this one is.
Do you know what it is?
I think so.
I'm nervous.
I know I do.
I'm nervous. Here we go.
So how many abs does he have?
Full
Just kidding.
He's like, he told me that, you got the full set.
I mean, I did not know it then and there in that room, but we've all seen his pictures and his underwear campaigns. What a lovely guy.
Yeah.
Actually, there is a deeper story behind this, and in this one moment too. So I was, another pinch me moment.
Yeah.
I grew up, when I was in high school, I was a huge fan of the Spice Girls. Of course.
Of course.
Naturally. And I had the chance occurrence early in my directorial career, commercial directing, that I was commissioned by Victoria Beckham for a charity ad. It's something that she, I think, supported called Mothers to Mothers.
Yeah.
And I went to London with Net-a-Porter to film her and support her charity, as she was doing a big donation of a lot of her fashion pieces and her wardrobe in support.
So this was after Jay-Z.
This is after Jay-Z.
Okay.
This is after Jay-Z.
Well, I mean, come on.
and I was so nervous again.
Yeah.
Childhood idol. And she was the loveliest. She was just the loveliest human being. So supportive.
Did you sing? Did you move? Did you that's me. Like if I sing, like, oh my God, and I'll start singing for them. You know me. You know me.
You'll do that for
I'm
anyone.
terrible that way, but
Terrible. And I belted my heart out countless times to Spice Girls.
What's
But I
your-
dare not.
not in front of her. Come
I
on.
did not pollute her ears. But of course,
That's
sure,
amazing.
It was built into the contract. I don't think this is confidential. It was built into the contract that part of her process is that I meet with her and we spend time with her before we shoot. So she get to know me, I get to know her.
Great.
And the loveliest. David was not there, but I was always hoping that he'd be like,
Yeah, look at her.
or
Peeking around the corner.
he'd make a set appearance and be like, oh my God.
So what did she say to you? What was that conversation? Was it?
Oh, she was just so impressed by the work I had done. I'd done a lot of
Good.
charity work in the past, around the world. So again, thanks to my dad being a philanthropist himself and doing a lot of volunteer work, and my mother also, I did a lot of, and so I think that the reason why she had selected me was because she knew I had the right philosophy, the mindset, and the talent to do it. So not only for photography, but also direct her for her ad. Anyway, so how does it get to this point? Well, now full circle moment back in, so this is in Toronto, in the Distillery District. Tudor was having an event. David Beckham is the ambassador. And I was invited to go. And I brought up the story
Okay, yeah.
that I met his wife,
Yeah.
lovely wife, and did that ad, and he remembers.
Amazing.
So yeah, it was just such a beautiful moment. That was not only was it kind of a nice meet and greet, but we just chat about watches and things that we love, and also my connection to his family, which was
Look at that, you're with the Royals.
I was charmed. I mean,
Who wouldn't be? Was Posh always your favorite Spice Girl?
yes.
You know,
yes.
when you have these moments where there's appreciation for your work, is there someone's opinion that matters the most to you?
I'd say my mother. I'd say my mother because she's seen how hard it was. She's seen all the no's. She's felt it. She's seen me almost give up. She's discouraged me multiple times to seek a more stable life. Right. But I think the validation like that I get from her saying, you did it. Just saying those words. Not let alone the typical, I'm proud of you. And which my parents did say that frequently, against many stereotypes of Asian parents. No, my mom was just, just so proud of every piece of work that I've done. And she's also very critical and say like, oh, why this, why that? I'm very curious about the process, and I'm very, very proud to be able to open up to her and share all the challenges I face. And so her opinion really matters to me. I think that, and a lot of my friends, I think, a lot of my childhood friends are still great friends of mine today, and these are the chosen family, having no siblings, that are there to give you perspective. They're there to tell you it as it is. They're there to champion you, but also make sure you are the best version of yourself, which means sometimes being very critical of your work, saying like, Justin, that's not your best work, is it? I'm like, I could do better. And I just love how, true family is there to push you. And so not only was it my mom, but my partner and my best friends who were always there to lift me up, challenge me, and I wouldn't be where I am today had it not been their support. And giving me that strength.
Yeah, having that community is an incredible thing. Do you ever fear being the sort of tyrant director? Do you ever fear having succeeded so much that you've lost perspective of what it means?
So no, do I have that fear? I'm afraid. I'm constantly afraid. I'm afraid for my life. I'm afraid for my career. I'm afraid that a movie won't land. I don't know. I'm afraid that scenes won't work. I don't know.
The table's gonna break.
Yeah, I'm always on my toes, but I find fear is a very good motivator.
Yeah.
When it comes to, I'd say fear of losing the humility, I think the rituals and being a very sentimental person is what really grounds me, because, every time I see the eyes of the crew that I'm working with, who are working tirelessly, I try to be the very first person on set, and I try to be the very last person on set. It's not always the case, but just watching the electricians, the caterers, always arriving with a bright smile on their face. They empower me as I try to empower them. And so, no, I find that anytime I work with any crew, I'm just so full of gratitude. So that's why it's rituals like this, rituals like collecting, the football, that actually, even this is actually kind of special too. This is another reminder. This is actually not from the movie, but at the premiere, my friends were secretly sharing this around me, and they were signing it in the movie theater.
Awesome.
That's so sweet.
And so, it's all these different things from all walks of life that just give me so much joy. And
Here's my favorite one. Sports.
And I think that's it. What you're saying, I think Carlos and I both feel that energy from you, is that you do give that joy, you do give that energy, and right away sitting down with. The minute we walked in, you made sure we were okay, and you were staying and helping us and all that. And that's who you are. You just are present, and that's really special. So congratulations to you. And
thanks. Big thank you to my parents too.
Yeah,
for how I was raised.
Yeah. It's all special, and we can't wait to see the next movie you're going to make, and hopefully you can bring Beckham next time you're here. And
I'd love that.
Can you talk about anything that you have?
Yeah, can you?
Well, I actually have a very open slate. I think that was by design. I'm interested in going back into TV. I'm interested in doing different movies. expanding this universe if we were given the privilege to do it. Maybe Sidelined 3, I don't know.
Yeah.
I gave myself that grace. There were different offers here and there, but I really wanted to take some time, enjoy my new apartment, host dinners. Formal invitation, you heard it here.
Yeah.
I am formally inviting all three of you to come for dinner here.
I'll bring some mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Me too. I love to cook too. Okay, perfect.
Great. I love to eat. Perfect combination.
Yeah. And just share ideas, share perspectives, and see where I want to go next.
Yeah.
And I think I have the privilege of choice these days. That's really it. So really, there's a very open slate that I'm just reviewing and projects, and there are also a lot of things I also want to do too. I can be proud to share, which is that education is key, and a big part of 2026 is for me to find new ways to give back. Doing workshops at universities. Actually, I'm meeting with TIFF next week, actually, to talk about their New Wave program and how I could support them. So a lot of the work I'm doing is really about not only what's next for my career, what makes sense, but how else I can give back to the city.
Because you're here and this is where we built.
That's right.
This is home. This is home.
Yeah, I think you can tell that we love your perspective.
Yeah.
And this has been such a great conversation.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
In your home, no less.
Thank you.
All right, let's go make some coffee.
Yes.
Yes.